Good morning, I'm Savannah Sellers.
I'm Joe Fryer. Right now on Morning News Now, slowing down. New concerns a recession is on the horizon or may already be here as new data shows the economy shrank for the second quarter in a row. The White House is pushing back against the idea that a recession is coming. We'll tell you what they're saying about economic growth and the impact a recession could have on your bottom line. Total devastation. Right now, recovery and cleanup efforts are underway in Kentucky after record flooding. Torrential rains, mudslides, and flash floods sweeping through small towns. This morning, at least 8 people are dead, and that number is expected to rise. Search and rescue crews hard at work as the area prepares for even more rain. And overnight in Las Vegas, definitely not what you'd expect to see in the desert. Parts of the Strip underwater, parking lots flooded, water pouring through the ceiling of a casino. Where these storms are heading next and how it could impact your weekend. Plus this morning, sticker shock. More concerts are returning after a long pandemic pause. But if you want to see your favorite artist, be prepared to shell out more money, a lot more. What's driving up ticket prices is more live shows make their return. And lottery fever. You have just hours left to get a ticket for the second largest prize in history, $1.1 billion. The odds you could end up a billionaire, plus some tips on what you should do if you end up with the winning numbers. We like to give that advice to our audience because the odds are so good that they're going to need that advice.
Spoiler alert.
It's fun to talk about. Fun to talk about.
Yeah,
and if you are one of our viewers and you win, come on here and let us know.
And it is true that it seems like it a lot of times doesn't go well when someone wins the lottery.
That is true. So you're better off losing.
Yeah.
That's the advice.
We're better off with our tips and winning.
All right. More a little bit later. We're going to begin this hour, though, with more bad news for the economy. That newly released data shows the U.S. economy had a second straight quarter of negative growth.
Yeah, that is the technical definition of a recession. But the Biden administration, as Joe mentioned, is strongly pushing back against that idea, saying the country is transitioning to a place of, quote, stable, steady growth. NBC News correspondent Sam Brock has more on this.
Anytime you see GDP dip for 2 consecutive quarters, it does fuel conversations about the R word, recession. But the reality is much more complex than just that. You have unemployment right now at historically low levels and strong consumer spending that continues even now. The Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, in her words, says part of this is just semantics. It's not just what economists are saying, but how families are feeling.
The American economy, chugging along at historic levels for years, is now facing undeniably choppy waters. As the gross domestic product, the benchmark for U.S. goods and services produced, shrank for the first half of the year. President Biden saying that alone does not signal a recession.
If you look at our job market, consumer spending, business investment, we see signs of economic progress.
Ultimately, it's up to a panel of nonpartisan experts to decide whether we're officially in a recession, looking at a host of factors. From GDP growth, unemployment claims, and consumer spending to, of course, inflation, which sits at its highest level in 40 years.
A recession happens when you are feeling the pinch of the economy around you. We're paying more for things like gasoline and food at the same time that maybe our incomes are more static.
Folks like Nicole Ferrier, a mother of 2 boys in central Michigan, who's spending most of her money on food and fuel.
To you, does it matter whether we're technically in a recession or not in a recession?
No, I don't think it matters. That's just the label that they want to put on it. We're making pennies stretch as far as we can.
Spending on goods and services, which drives about 2/3 of the economy, is still up, but not as much as recent quarters. Credit card companies show people prioritizing necessities now over luxuries.
They're seeing more and increased spending on those types of products, food and fuel, say, or maybe even rent, the things that we really need.
Some comfort for Americans coming in the form of unemployment near all-time lows. The U.S. has averaged more than 450,000 jobs a month this year, though Sade Dozen, who works in caregiving, says some of those new jobs lack critical support, from paid family leave to living wages.
When we don't see a strong, well-paid, well-valued care workforce, then we actually are seeing folks leave the workforce. We're seeing folks not be able to operate.
One very important note about the jobs numbers is that they're backwards looking and they also get revised. They're not necessarily a predictor of what's going to happen in the future. Economists say the better barometer for the economy might actually be unemployment claims, since they're updated every single week. And they also have been at a low point, but creeping up just about every single week since April. In South Florida, Sam Brock, NBC News.
Thank you, Sam.
This morning, Senate Democrats are hoping to move quickly after a surprise deal was reached on a major spending bill. But that measure, supported by President Biden, is already getting major pushback from Republicans. NBC News Chief White House correspondent Kristen Welker joins us with more on that. Hey, Kristen, good morning.
Hey, Joe, good morning to you. There is growing urgency among Democrats to get that surprise climate and tax deal passed with just 10 days before the Senate leaves on its August recess. But the big unknown, do they have the votes?
This morning, Senate Democrats are in an all-out blitz to come together around a newly reached spending deal. President Biden hailed the measure as a giant leap forward for the country and urged lawmakers to act quickly.
Pass it. Pass it for the American people.
The bill is sharply scaled back from Democrats' initial proposal more than a year ago, but it aims to lower health care costs by locking in lower premiums for individuals who get their health care from the Affordable Care Act and through changes to Medicare that could lower some prescription drug prices. It also includes the largest investment in fighting climate change in U.S. history, pouring $369 billion into energy and climate programs.
This bill is far from perfect. It's a compromise.
But Republicans are blasting the plan, arguing it could add to the nation's soaring inflation.
It's not the time to increase taxes or spending. It's going to feed the fires of inflation.
Democrats insist the bill will help lower inflation and the national deficit. But Republicans believe the 15% corporate minimum tax that Democrats are proposing to pay for it is bad for business.
I'm deeply concerned that we are going to be taxing American workers, which is what happens when you tax companies.
With a 50-50 Senate, Democrats can't afford any defections, putting the focus on Arizona's Democratic Senator Kyrsten Sinema, a key swing voter who was not part of the discussions about the deal, brokered by Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and Joe Manchin of West Virginia. Sinema's spokesperson, non-committal.
She doesn't have comments. She's going to be reviewing the text.
As Democrats expressed measured optimism.
I would hope that she would be receptive.
Hopefully we'll have 50 votes.
So to pass the bill, Schumer needs every Democrat on board. And the other big wild card here is COVID. 3 senators tested positive for COVID just this week, including Manchin, and they need everyone to be physically present to vote. For Democrats, though, the political stakes could not be higher. They really want to be able to show Joe voters that they got these key Biden priorities passed as the midterms loom.
And Kristen, there's also news out of the White House this morning about a new COVID booster. What can you tell us about that?
That's absolutely right. Well, I spoke with an administration official overnight who said that the Biden administration is going to be aiming to make new COVID boosters available by the fall. These are retooled vaccines, and this comes as Pfizer and Moderna are signaling they will have upgraded doses by then. Now, the goal is to have boosters that are more effective against the BA.5 variant. The administration is not expanding its eligibility for boosters, though. At this point, only Americans over 50 and those over 12 with immune deficiencies are eligible for this second booster. And just moments ago, our Monica Alba confirmed, Joe, that the administration has secured 66 million doses of Moderna's variant-specific COVID-19 booster for potential use in the fall. So they're really ramping up as they brace for potentially another wave as the fall and winter approach.
Kristen Welker at the White House. Kristen, thank you.
Now we turn to Kentucky and what the governor there is calling one of the worst flooding disasters in the state's history. As search and recovery efforts enter their second day, officials are only beginning to tally up the missing. NBC News correspondent Maggie Vespa is in Garrett, Kentucky with the latest. Hey, Maggie, good morning.
Hey, Savannah, good morning. Yeah, if there is any semblance of a silver lining here is that the water, as you can see, is receding. Compare that river to the debris behind me. The water 24 hours ago piled all this debris on top of this bridge. Kentucky's governor, as you mentioned, calling this one of the worst events in the state's history, also pleading with President Biden for federal assistance for people here who have lost so much.
This is terrible. This is something I never thought I would dream of seeing.
This morning across Kentucky, the depth of destruction from historic flash floods is coming into sharper focus. as is a climbing death count.
We've already lost at least 8, but I know there are many more than that.
Kentucky is under a state of emergency. From above the town of Hinman, a look at the widespread damage with homes and businesses underwater.
We still have no water. Sewer system is down. We're totally shut down.
Hinman's mayor telling us the flood has displaced and devastated many residents of this small community. Water rescues still underway to help people stranded. The National Guard stepping in to help by air and on the ground, along with other first responders. Just days before the first day of classes were set to begin, this school, heavily damaged by the storm, now filled with debris. In neighborhood after neighborhood, scenes of widespread ruin. Creeks and rivers overflowing into roads now filled with murky waters. Some floodwaters even high enough to cover this bridge passing through the town of Garrett. A similar storm slamming St. Louis earlier this week.
It was rising so quickly, we just weren't prepared for it.
It's part of a wave of severe weather across the country this week. And overnight, storms fueling flash floods in Las Vegas. Strong wind gusts and heavy rains barreling down, even sending water pouring inside some casinos on the Strip. Back in Kentucky, officials say recovery efforts could take weeks or even years in the hardest hit places across the state. And while the cleanup is just beginning for so many, residents are staying positive despite losing so much.
We'll make it. We always do with God's help.
And just to reiterate and kind of drive home just how high the water was, this bridge was the bridge that you saw in that piece that 24 hours ago was completely submerged under that floodwater. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear set to tour the flood damage from a chopper later on today and then brief the media afterward. At the same time, there is a possibility of more rain later today. And guys, everyone is just praying this doesn't get any worse. Savannah.
Absolutely. All right, Maggie Vespa, thank you so much. Stay safe.
Let's continue our coverage with a check on your morning news now weather.
Which means Michelle Grossman's back with us. Hey, Michelle.
Hey there, guys. Yeah, Maggie's right. We are looking at the potential for more rain in portions of Kentucky today, tomorrow, also Saturday and Sunday. So we do have a flood threat still in effect. We have a flood watch. That's where you see the green for more downpours. We're looking at Charleston, West Virginia, Beckley, West Virginia, down to Hazard. That's where we saw 9 inches of rain in just 12 hours. Somerset, then into Tennessee, Knoxville, and we're also looking at Kingsport. So this is what radar looks like right now. We had some light showers move through Kentucky this morning. We're seeing some light showers right now. Most of the heavy stuff is to the south. So we have this frontal boundary that's sort of moving north, moving south very, very slowly. It looks today like we'll be further to the south. So we're seeing some really heavy rain in portions of Arkansas, also Tennessee, where you see those brighter colors, the yellows, and especially the reds and oranges. That's where we're seeing the really heavy stuff. Also seeing some rain, some heavy rain in portions of Ohio, also western Pennsylvania into portions of West Virginia. So that will be the story as we go throughout the day. We're watching this frontal boundary still bringing heavy rain, and this trails all the way back to portions of the southwest in addition to some monsoonal flooding. So this is our rainfall forecast, expecting generally 2 to 4 inches across the area, but we could locally see up to 6 inches again, especially with those heavier downpours, some thunderstorms that roll through. And we do have a severe threat as well through this afternoon and this evening. 9 million people at risk, winds gusting up to 60 miles per hour. That could cause damage on its own, bringing trees down, also shingles off houses, damaging hail. An isolated tornado is possible as well. We had an EF2 tornado yesterday southeast of Buffalo, New York, so we could possibly see the chance for tornadoes once again. The likeliest spots would be from D.C. to Richmond, Norfolk, and also Salisbury, Maryland. Now, as we go throughout the rest of the day, we're looking at that frontal boundary again further to the south. It's a dividing line between really hot and humid air and cooler air to the north, so temperatures into the triple digits in Dallas once again. Feeling like 105 later on this afternoon in Charlotte, but really nice in parts of the upper Midwest, low 80s. And it's going to be pretty nice in the mid-Atlantic and the Northeast tomorrow. We're looking at a nice weekend with temperatures very typical of July. New York City, 87. We'll start to warm up, though, once again next week. As far as the rest of today goes, we're looking at rounds of rain. We had those flooding rains in Las Vegas. We're going to see monsoonal flooding as well, and also that sizzling heat, you guys, with temperatures back into the triple digits in the Northwest once again.
All right, so much to keep watching for. Michelle Grossman, thank you so much. And turning now to Washington, where President Joe Biden and his Chinese counterpart spoke Thursday amid growing tensions over Taiwan. American officials have raised concerns that the self-ruling democracy could be in danger as China has ramped up military activity around the island, which it considers a Chinese territory. For more, we're joined by NBC News White House correspondent Monica Alba. Monica, it is wonderful to see you. Now, we know relations between the U.S. and China have been particularly tense. What do we know about their discussion over Taiwan, and what are both sides saying about this call?
Good morning, Savannah. It's great to see you. That's right. This was the fifth conversation between Presidents Biden and Xi since he took office. The call was more than 2 hours and 15 minutes, which is typical for these kinds of conversations because you have to allow time for translation. But of course, there was so much to be discussed. And specifically, when it comes to Taiwan, President Biden, according to the White House, was clear with his Chinese counterpart that the U.S. condemns any efforts to undermine status quo and the peaceful regime currently in Taiwan. Now, the Chinese side, for their part, responded with some more colorful language that the White House did not want to confirm. They said that those who play with fire will perish by it, warning the United States when it comes to Taiwan. But senior administration officials pledging to keep an open line of communication between the two countries. And there were even discussions for a potential face-to-face summit later this year.
Now, China has also issued a series of threats in recent days over House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's possible trip to Taiwan. What's the latest on that front?
So a congressional delegation leaves today that includes Speaker Pelosi to Asia. They will be traveling to multiple countries, but they haven't specifically confirmed whether she will be going to Taiwan. That is currently listed as tentative, according to some of our sources, because there are security concerns and because there has been this back and forth. The Chinese officials have said that this is tantamount to a threat, that they really feel they wouldn't like her to go there. The United States, in response, has said, of course, that they feel this is okay. But President Biden, a couple of weeks ago, said that they were looking at the bigger implications and the security picture. So it's possible she will go there, but it's not something they're really going to preview in advance. And also yesterday, the White House responded saying that the kind of rhetoric that really attacked Speaker Pelosi's visit was unnecessary and uncalled for.
Now, this isn't the only pressure point, though, between the two countries. What else did the leaders talk about?
Taiwan certainly has added pressure to the relationship in recent months, but they did talk about a lot of other thorny issues, including the ongoing COVID pandemic, what's happening with Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and then, of course, the economy in both of the U.S. and China. There's a lot of pressure on President Biden to potentially lift some Trump-era tariffs that would help here at home, but the White House has said that no decisions have been finalized on that, and it's something they will continue to evaluate as the economy continues to recover. Savannah.
All right, Monica Alba, thank you. And also welcome back, your first day back from parental leave for your gorgeous baby boy. I'm obsessed with his name, by the way, Denver. He is so perfect, but we're so happy to have you back.
It's great to be back. Thank you so much. We're all excited.
You got it. Good to see you. All right, coming up on Morning News Now, veterans demanding answers from Congress after the Senate blocks a bill providing essential health care benefits to those who served overseas. Now, Republican lawmakers on the defensive about why they voted no after the break. Welcome back. Comedian and longtime military supporter Jon Stewart is leading protests against GOP senators after they blocked an essential bill for veterans. The bill, which had previously gotten bipartisan support, would expand health care benefits to help veterans exposed to toxic burn pits while overseas. Veterans are now demanding an answer for the sudden reversal. NBC News correspondent Kristen Dahlgren has the latest.
Hey there, Stewart, a longtime and vocal advocate for military veterans, had expected a hard-won victory. Instead, he and veterans groups spent the night letting Congress know just how they felt.
Overnight, military veterans on the steps of the Capitol. An emotional Jon Stewart blasting Republican lawmakers who blocked a bill on Wednesday to provide health care to veterans exposed to toxic burn pits while serving overseas.
It just makes the gut punch that much more devastating, is that these people all came down here so that they could finally tell the men and
42 GOP senators voted against the bill. 25 of whom had previously voted for a similar version that passed the House with bipartisan support. Pennsylvania Senator Pat Toomey, who was retiring next year, led the pushback, saying the bill contained extraneous spending, telling NBC News in a statement, "It's wrong to use a veterans bill to hide a $400 billion unrelated slush fund. Burn pits or fiery trash heaps, which the military used to dispose of everything from batteries to human waste at overseas bases over decades of wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. Families of veterans suffering from cancer and other health issues say that's what's made them sick."
If you vote no on this bill, you do not support veterans.
The VA has said studies on military exposures have been inconclusive so far. Stewart says this campaign is similar to the years-long fight to fund health care for 9/11 first responders.
What the first responders were standing on top of was essentially a burn pit.
Democratic leader Chuck Schumer now promising the bill will be back for another vote Monday, while Stewart says the sick can't afford to wait for Congress.
Their constituents are dying. And they're going to get it done in recess? You know, tell their cancer to take a recess.
Schumer says he has offered Senator Toomey a chance to bring an amendment to the floor. He says that offer still stands, but this will be back for a vote on Monday. Back to you.
All right, Kristen Dahlgren, thank you. Now to a bizarre story out of Hawaii. A couple there has been accused of stealing the identities of babies who died decades ago. Now there are questions swirling over old photos showing the pair wearing what look like KGB uniforms. NBC News correspondent Stephen Romo breaks down what we know.
Yeah, there is a lot left to uncover in this mystery, and those photos that appear to show them wearing KGB uniforms only add to the list of questions. The prosecutors say these crimes allegedly went on for decades. Tonight, a married couple accused of stealing the identities of two dead babies decades ago, according to a criminal complaint from the U.S. State Department. The government also submitting photos to the court of the couple in what appear to be KGB uniforms in an effort to deny them bail. Gwen Morrison's attorney says it's not what it may seem.
My client wants everyone to know that she is not a spy, that she tried on a uniform that was at a friend's house one time, and they took pictures. And you can tell from the picture that it's the same uniform. Her and her husband are wearing the same uniform, and the picture's taken in a home, in their friend's home.
We also asked Walter Primrose's attorney if his client was ever a member of the KGB, but he declined to comment. The couple, originally from Texas, are accused of living under false identities for the last 35 years in that complaint filed last week.
It may be that these defendants were trying on these uniforms as a goof, but that's going to be up to them essentially to prove, because the surrounding circumstances usually reveal whether somebody is truly kidding or if they are dead serious.
Neither Morrison nor Walter Primrose have been charged with any espionage-related crimes, but the criminal complaint alleges they have been perpetrating criminal fraud acts. They allegedly moved to Hawaii under the names Bobby Fort and Julie Montague and lived seemingly normal lives, according to their neighbors.
She was always friendly. They kind of kept to themselves for the most part.
But their home was raided Friday, according to NBC affiliate KHNL's interview with a neighbor. They were arrested for conspiracy to commit an offense against the U.S., aggravated identity theft, and making a false statement in an application and use of passport.
There's a lot of FBI members around the house, and coming into their house, breaking everything.
I was noticing prosecutors are asking that they not be granted bail. Is that unusual in this situation? Could that signal there's more to come?
This is definitely the kind of case that federal prosecutors will argue that these defendants pose a risk of flight. After all, they're using fake IDs, allegedly.
But Morrison's attorney disagrees.
Even if the allegations in the complaint are true, that they stole these identities 30 years ago, even under these new identities, they committed no crime. And so to hold them without bail or bond is just unreasonable.
The criminal complaint also saying Primrose fraudulently enlisted in the U.S. Coast Guard and served for 20 years under his new identity.
They do drug interdiction, they do coastline protection, and they work hand in hand with the armed forces.
He retired and now works for a company contracted by the Department of Defense, according to the complaint. He attended a detention hearing today, according to his attorney. The State Department telling NBC News in a statement that the two suspects are U.S. citizens, but would not go into further details on the case. Now, as for those babies whose identities were allegedly stolen, we did hear from John Montague. He's telling the AP that his daughter, Julie, died back in 1968 at just 3 weeks old. And he says he was shocked to hear that someone was using her name for all of those years. He says people will just stoop to about anything these days.
All right, Stephen Romo, thank you for that report. And coming up, from money concerns to the pandemic, there's a lot to stress us all out right now. We've got some self-care tips to bring down your own stress levels and improve your overall health. That's next.
The pandemic, inflation, and global uncertainty have all taken a toll on everyone's well-being, leaving many of us feeling stressed.
Absolutely. So taking time for yourself and doing things that help your overall happiness, known as self-care, is more important than ever.
So here to help us explain how we can all get better at actually practicing self-care is certified health and wellness coach Jeff Siegel. Jeff, good morning to you. So a recent survey by One Poll found that on average, more than half of people consider self-care a priority, yet we only spend an average of 38 minutes a day actually on those efforts. So why is it that we're not doing that? We say it's a priority, but we're not actually prioritizing it.
Right. Well, straight off the bat, I want to say that I wish we lived in a world where we didn't have to have this conversation, right? A world where self-care was just supported by our community and our culture. And unfortunately, that's not the world that we live in. The last couple of years have obviously been extremely difficult times. There's been this never-ending string of crises, and people are, facing immense amounts of stress and, looking for ways to cope. And, I think there's this growing awareness that, if you don't take care of your health and wellness, no one else is going to do it for you. And so the responsibility really does fall on individuals to preserve and protect, their happiness and their well-being. And I think there are obvious reasons like lack of time and money that get in the way of doing self-care. But I think there are actually deeper mindsets, deeper narratives that show up for people that become barriers. And in particular, there are two things. One is this thought that, I know I should do self-care, but right? And we all know that the word should can be a very difficult word because it sounds imposing, right? And then self-care becomes just another to-do on our already too long list of things that we need to take care of. And then the second one is this thought that says, I'll get around to self-care once I've finished with my work, once I've taken care of my familial responsibilities, right? And the challenge there is that there is always more work to do. And especially now, because of, working from home and the blurred boundaries between kind of work and life and the culture that we live in, where we're always plugged in, we're always online, that, the times in which we may have preserved or protected for being with ourselves in a more connected way have kind of eroded. And so we need to learn how to reset those boundaries for ourselves.
Yeah, definitely. I think also some people think of this as something that's more for women for whatever reason, maybe because of what we associate with kind of like the activities of taking care of yourself or indulging or whatever. But how important is it for men, tell Joe, to also take care of themselves?
Joe, it is important for you, and is it important for everybody, right? Again, within this, individualistic paradigm that we live in, self-care is essential. And that being said, I think men are faced with an additional layer of challenge of overcoming this traditional masculine identity of being, the strong, stoic man who's not allowed to show weakness, not even allowed to feel weak. And the challenge there is that, self-care begins with this emotional honesty, right? It's about taking an honest look at what you require in order to function at your best. Wow. And that can be really difficult for a lot of men to develop the right skills to be with those emotions. And then secondarily, to be able to communicate that, to reach out for help or to ask for time to deal with those feelings. And I also think that there are just fewer men, relative to women out there role modeling self-care and these sort of behaviors. And so therefore men, feel more limited in the types of practices or things that they could actually engage with.
Yeah. Wow. Jeff, we just got deep.
Yeah, some great points there.
Yeah,
now we need some men to model maybe you. I'll work on that. I can be them.
To get emotionally honest with yourself and then share it with us.
All right.
Work on that.
So, Jeff, really appreciate you taking the time to speak with us this morning.
Awesome. It's such important advice and good to hear. Thank you. Coming up, the big Mega Millions drawing tonight is one of the largest in history.
Yeah, that'd be some self-care right there. The jackpot, more than $1 billion. So next, for all you dreamers out there, some expert tips on what you should do if you happen, or when you happen, to end up being the lucky winner. Music fans are excited to have concerts back in full swing after that hiatus during the pandemic, but scoring those tickets to see your favorite artist or band perform live, well, that could put a big dent in your wallet. NBC News correspondent Aaron McLaughlin is in Los Angeles with more on what you need to know before you try and start scooping up those tickets. Hey, Aaron.
Hey, Joe, this year is on track to be the busiest concert season on record. So what does that mean for fans eager to return to shows? New data says ticket prices are hitting a high note, and not the good kind. The question remains, how much will fans pay to swap their playlists for the real thing?
After nearly 2 years of concert cancellations and performance postponements, live music is back at full volume, with price tags at times shocking to even the biggest groupies.
It's kind of ridiculous. It is disappointing.
That's a little crazy. I don't know.
Springsteen fans were stunned when tickets for his upcoming tour went on sale, with some seats reportedly going for as much as $5,500. Springsteen's four-figure tickets are a result of Ticketmaster's dynamic pricing model, which allows artists and promoters to adjust prices based on demand. Ticketmaster, the largest ticketing company in the U.S., defends the policy, saying it ensures profits go to the artist instead of the secondary market.
Is it up to the artist to make their tours more accessible? You're basically asking an artist to do what almost no one else in any other business would do, which is to willfully walk away from millions, or in some cases, tens of millions of dollars.
Dollars collected by resale sites like StubHub, where Adele, Bad Bunny, and Elton John all have seats listed for tens of thousands of dollars over the ticket's face value. Money the artists don't see. Outraged Springsteen fans reacted to ticket prices online. One fan joking they'll have to sell a kidney to be able to afford seats. The boss has not commented on the backlash when asked by NBC News, but his manager told the New York Times in a statement, the average ticket price has been in the mid-$200 range, what he believes is a fair price to see someone universally regarded as among the very greatest artists of his generation. This year is on track to be one of the biggest concert seasons on record. The average ticket price for the first half of 2022 was $108. That's up nearly 18% compared to before the pandemic. So what's a music lover to do if they want to get their fix and still have enough money left for merch? Start with the primary seller, the box office. They should have the best prices. Timing is important. Either purchase your tickets as soon as they go on sale or wait until the day before or day of the show for deals. Check to see if your credit card offers access to pre-sales or join the artist's fan club to jump the line. Buy a single ticket or an odd number of tickets. Groups of 3 or 5 are easier to come by. But for now, if you want to get up close and personal with your favorite artists, you're likely going to have to face the music.
Experts say a lot of the pricing decisions come down to the artists and their management. But the online ticket marketplace StubHub told NBC News that tickets listed at astronomically high prices rarely sell unless demand warrants it. So this may be the new normal unless fans decide enough is enough and stop paying top dollar for tickets.
Yeah,
Joe.
I feel like that's not happening because everyone wants to get to those concerts right now. So, all right, Aaron, good advice. Thanks so much.
Now some breaking news. The Core Personal Consumption Expenditures Index for June is out, and that's important because it gives us an idea of where the U.S. stands with inflation.
CNBC's Contessa Brewer joins us with that and other money headlines. Hey, Contessa, good morning.
Hey, Joe. Hey, Savannah. Get your pencils and your notebooks out. There will be a test on this. We're just getting a fresh snapshot on the U.S. economy and inflation. The core PCE, or Personal Consumption Expenditures Index. And here's what we found. It came in month over month 0.6% versus the anticipated 0.5%. And then year over year, it came in at 4.8% versus 4.7%. So higher than expected. One more key note here. Consumer spending up 1.1%. That was better than expected. The experts had expected it to come in at 0.9%. What this means is that, yes, personal consumption is going up in spite of these high prices. The report is considered the Federal Reserve's favorite gauge of inflation because it strips out two categories that can have wild price swings month to month: food and energy. The Fed does not deny the importance of those things, but it also doesn't want to overreact to short-term spikes or drops in what we are paying for gas or for groceries here. Amazon is not seeing a slowdown in consumer demand, even though Walmart had said shoppers are pulling back on buying discretionary items because they're focused on basic necessities. In fact, Amazon reported better than expected sales in the second quarter, and it's projecting more growth this quarter in spite of inflation. The company also is collecting bigger fees from Prime memberships and continues to see strength from its cloud computing business, AWS. And Tinder, the dating app, is relaunching the desk mode feature. It's intended to help daters swipe, is daters even a word? Swipe through potential matches at work without letting your bosses know. I mean, is your boss looking at your phone? I mean, come on. This feature hides your activity by opening a mock meeting notes tab. Tinder says a recent survey shows nearly a third of dating app users have admitted to swiping while in a meeting. Desk mode is now available to any Tinder user logged onto the site from their desktop. Methinks if you need to hide it from your boss, you may have a problem. It's just me as a mom talking.
Daters swiping addiction. Next.
Yeah. This whole thing's weird.
I mean,
meeting notes and I don't know.
It's a world we don't know. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Contessa. All right, we could be hours away from the second largest Mega Millions payout ever, and that means lots of people are asking one another, what would you do if you won?
Well, just in case you do, we want to give you the best advice to stop you repeating the mistakes of past winners. Emily Irwin, Managing Director of Advice and Planning at Wells Fargo's Wealth and Investment Management, joins us now. Emily, good morning. Just straight to the first question. If you win, what's the first thing you should do?
Good morning, Savannah. Good morning, Joe. First thing you should do is nothing. It seems that with the Mega Millions soaring to $1.1 billion, everyone has bought a ticket. And if you are one of the lucky few to hold that winning ticket, you want to make sure that you safeguard it. During this quiet period before all the chaos starts, you want to be able to assemble a team of professionals to help you make financial decisions. That team likely will consist of an attorney, an accountant, an investment professional or a financial advisor, potentially even an insurance specialist, and someone who specializes in charitable giving.
I like that advice we heard last hour where the person said, take a picture of you with the ticket to prove you have it, you won it, but do not post it on social media or anywhere publicly. Just have it. So if there's, heaven forbid, something happens, you can prove, hey, I had this ticket, or maybe prove it. I want to ask you, this is the question we always ask people, whether it's better to take the lump sum or the yearly payout. From your perspective, a financial advisor's standpoint, which one is better?
Well, there's pros and cons to both. And so the lump sum, the big advantage, of course, is that you're able to get that lump sum right now. You control how it's invested within your risk tolerance, and you can really use that team of professional advisors you put into place to be able to affect whatever decisions you want to implement. The negative of that, of course, is that there's going to be a pretty hefty tax bill, definitely from Uncle Sam and potentially from a state if you live in a state that imposes a state income tax. By contrast, the annuity payment is something that really provides security. So that can be an advantage. If you're someone who's going to have $1 in your pocket and then you're going to spend it, you may want to preserve your assets by knowing that every single year for the next 3 decades, you're going to be receiving a payment. The negative, of course, is that it may not be invested in a way that's in alignment with your goals and investment portfolio.
Yeah. Emily, we know, sadly, and maybe surprisingly, things don't always end up happily for lottery winners. Studies actually show that they are more likely than the average American to declare bankruptcy within 3 to 5 years. What can you do to avoid overspending and making that mistake? What's quickly just kind of the worst thing that you see people do?
Put a plan in place. You have to have a written plan where you articulate your short-term, midterm, and long-term goals. And you want to set a budget. It sounds completely insane because your budget will look drastically different than your budget right now, but you want to understand how are you funding your lifestyle, albeit a vastly different one, in the future. You want to understand where that cash flow is coming. You also want to hold off on any major purchases for the first few months while you adjust to not only the financial and wealth change in your life, but also that psychological change that might occur in family and friendship relationships and within your community.
All right, Emily Irwin, great advice for all these wannabe
all
billionaires.
All our viewers who are going to win today. All right.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate it. Now, it's not just concerts making a comeback. More people are heading back to movie theaters.
And some action-packed films are coming out this weekend. We've got the latest on those, what you can watch on TV as well in this week's Can't Miss list.
Welcome back. In an effort to go green, Sprite is becoming, well, less green, as you see there. Starting next week, the lemon lime drink will retire its famous green bottles. And here's why. The color made them harder to recycle. The new clear bottles will use a light plastic that is 100% recyclable. Other green bottled beverages like Fresca, Seagram's, and Mellow Yellow will also go clear in the near future. Now, moving from soda news to some candy news, this Halloween could be more trick than treat if you're a fan of Hershey products. The company warned it may not be able to meet demands for special Halloween items, citing supply chain issues and inflation. The candy maker says it will focus on keeping its everyday candy on shelves. I'm not much of a candy person, except for Hershey's. I love. But I think I like the normal ones, just the Kisses, the Hershey bars.
So then they'll just get a bar. You'll just go to get a bar.
Yeah, it just won't be maybe in like
also,
the
you
shape.
don't trick or treat anymore because you're an adult.
Yeah, but I buy the bags of Halloween candy for the girls in my office.
See, it all comes out now.
There you go. All right, now moving on to a bittersweet goodbye to one of our beloved colleagues and mentors. Justice correspondent Pete Williams is officially retiring after spending nearly 30 years here at NBC.
Pete has spent his career tirelessly working to report the news accurately and honestly, making him a staple in Washington. NBC News Now anchor Hallie Jackson looks back at his incredible career.
Pete Williams might hate this report. It doesn't really have any scoops. It's probably overwritten. So let's do the Pete thing and just get to it. Everything he's done over nearly 3 decades, 5 administrations, and approximately 465 trillion live shots. That's hyperbole, by the way. Pete hates that, too.
Pete Williams, NBC News at the Supreme Court.
He's covered the court and the Department of Justice for years. A super stressful beat. But if the guy sweats, you wouldn't know it. Watch how steady he is in 2000, reading through the court's decision on Florida's voting machines that decided that year's presidential election live on air.
If there is no room for a recount, this election is over for Vice President Al Gore. And that's effectively what you're saying.
I see nothing that in any way is incompatible with that, Tom.
It did take Pete a couple decades to get to the nightly news after starting off in the 70s in Casper, Wyoming, doing local TV and radio.
Pete Williams, K2 News.
In the 80s, he joined the office of then Wyoming Congressman Dick Cheney. And when Cheney became defense secretary under President George H.W. Bush, Pete headed to the Pentagon, too, as the spokesperson there.
Okay, let's see. Good afternoon. I do have a few announcements for you.
He shifted back to news, joining NBC in 1993. And by 2012, he'd hit legend status with this moment, getting the court's decision on the Affordable Care Act right.
The bottom line here is the Supreme Court has upheld the health care case.
That's after other outlets had incorrectly reported the opposite. The next year, Pete taught another master class in accuracy during the hunt for one of the Boston Marathon bombers.
Several law enforcement officials have confirmed for us now that he is alive. He is in custody. Unbelievable, as one said who's been following this.
Even former President Obama noticed how good Pete was.
And that's what great journalism is. And that's what great journalists do. And that's why, for example, Pete Williams' new nickname around the NBC newsroom is Big Papi.
It's not like Pete needed a big finale, but he delivered anyway, breaking one last huge story when Justice Stephen Breyer retired a couple months ago.
He's made this decision within the past couple of weeks to step down.
Pete's had the kind of career that boils his competitors alive with envy. But the funny thing is, they like him. Everyone does. because even more than what Pete's done is who he is. Kind and helpful and smart, intimidatingly smart, but he never makes a big thing about it. He's a gracious colleague and a gracious host. Legitimately hilarious, by the way, totally deadpan. To be roasted by Pete is a badge of honor. And sure, retirement means more time for his drum lessons and his trips to Jackson Hole. But there's a reason why our bosses always say, wait for Pete. Because, as the saying goes around here, in Pete we trust. I bet you do too. And that pretty much says it all.
Our thanks to Hallie for that report. Morning News Now wishes Pete all the best on his next adventure, which no doubt includes some trips to London to see some theater as well.
Awesome. Oh, it's amazing. What a great look back. All right, time now for your can't miss list.
Joining us now with some of her top picks is Variety Magazine senior entertainment writer Angelique Jackson. So let's start off. 2 films out this weekend that are getting some great buzz. What are we heading to see at the theater?
Well, if you are not just playing Beyonce on loop, you have time to go to the movie theater and to see DC League of Super Pets, which is starring Dwayne Johnson and Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and Kevin Hart. They are voicing Crypto, who is the super pet, as you see there, of Superman, and Hart is Ace. This is a case of where Superman and the Justice League, they get kidnapped, and Crypto must convince a team of other now superpowered dogs to save them. It's a really fun, animated romp that is expected to lead the box office with $25 million. The other offering at the box office this weekend is Vengeance, which is BJ Novak's directorial debut. You may know him for The Office, and this movie is funny, but it is a lot darker. It is a black comedy with a cast that includes Ashton Kutcher, Issa Rae, even John Mayer, and some more. And yes, it's about a murder mystery, so definitely more of some adult fare. And then we also have a huge re-release this year. We have Everything Everywhere All at Once. This was a movie that totally blew folks away at the box office. It's kind of a multiverse film starring Michelle Yeoh. And this movie is A24's highest grossing movie ever. It has made $100 million at the box office, and it's going to be coming to 800 theaters in the United States this weekend with a new instruction from the filmmakers and about 8 minutes of bloopers and outtakes at the end.
So how about if you're feeling like a night in? What should we be watching and streaming this weekend?
Yes, this weekend is the release of Uncoupled, which is a new romantic comedy series from Neil Patrick Harris. And it's also from Darren Star and Jeffrey Richman. And it's this rom-com series with Neil starring as a 40-something gay man who finds himself newly single after getting dumped by his partner of 17 years. So it's kind of a fun answer to Sex and the City as well. And these 8 episodes are described as some comfort food for you this weekend.
I love it. Also, of course, Angelique, you mentioned what we've got to be listening to. That is Beyonce, which we've been talking about all morning. Angelique, it's always fun to have you. Thank you so much. It's everything we needed to know for our can't miss list for this weekend. Thank you. And now it's not quite the end of our show, even though
it's not.
I don't know if Joe thought it was, or if we haven't pulled him. It's Joe's birthday, which we haven't been acknowledging in an effort to surprise him with a cake. Joe Fryer.
Thank you. We pulled off the cake surprise. We're not very good at cake surprises here at Morning News Now, so this is well done by everyone.
Yes,
oh my gosh, Jillian. Do we pull? You have to pull Jillian in for that. My goodness.
Come.
She's wearing the best T-shirt ever.
Had the best.
Oh my goodness. Where's yours?
No, we thought about me pulling. If you guys were with us yesterday, you saw Carrie Sanders with the puffin shirt.
Right,
and you're like,
right.
I should have one.
Right. And then just put a puffin on it.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Thank you. That
Look
is
at
so
this. Yeah, she's had this zipped up all morning.
Oh my goodness. These are going to be selling out.
Don't worry,
They're
she
going to
has
be
one for you as well.
selling out.
Yeah,
oh my gosh. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Birthdays are such a weird thing because it's like all you did was be born.
Arrive.
And the rest
for
is,
all of us, the whole team, for our viewers at home, you do so much for us every day, and we want you to feel so celebrated.
I am
Happy
grateful
birthday,
for all of you,
Joe.
grateful for our amazing team here.
We were
glad
thinking
it's
of
a Friday.
putting together a loop of your dog voice, maybe your baby voice, things like that.
Speaking of a translucent horse, all those things.
It's just there are more surprises coming once some things arrive in the mail. All right, Joe Fryer, we love you. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Appreciate
Enjoy
it. That does it for this hour of Morning News Now.
But the news continues right now.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.